Warriors, rise! An SEC Ripple settlement soon. The pressure is on the SEC. But as you guys know, as you look this way, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, Warriors, it's time to get in the game. Click 3twarrior.com or description down below. Get into the free Discord and get into the conversation. Stop sitting on the sidelines because the freight train has left the building, Warriors, and you're either going to go on board and go for the ride of your life or get ran over by it. But the fact is, every single person at some point is going to have to get on the train. Think about that for just a moment. Every person's going to have to get on the train. So let's jump right into this. So the pressure is on with the SEC. Let me open this up a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. So this is Rep. Bill Huseman putting pressure on Gary Gensler, okay? Gary Gensler is trying to rewrite existing laws in the order to expand his jurisdiction over the digital asset market participants. Recent rushed rulemaking will expand the SEC's authority, leaving Congress on the sidelines. Okay, so check this out. Things are getting pretty heated up here. Okay, it says in 1998, the SEC adopted Rule 3B16 to clarify terms used in statutory definition of exchange under the Exchange Act, specifically under Rule B, okay, defined as an organization. Now, what he's trying to do on March 22nd, the SEC proposed another rule that would further define the term as part of a regular business for a purpose of register under Section 1515C. Currently, Section blah, blah, blah of the Exchange Act defines the term dealer as any person that is engaged in business of buying and selling securities for its own account unless it is not doing so as part of a regular business. Under SEC's proposed rule, the buying and selling of securities for one's own account will be deemed as part of regular business in such person engaging in a routine pattern of buying and selling securities that has the effect of providing liquidity to other market participants, thus requiring the register with the SEC. Most concerning, the SEC indicates in its footnote, this is important. I know this stuff is boring, but listen. Most concerning, the SEC indicates in a footnote, but nowhere else in the rule, that the proposed rule would also encompass digital assets deemed to be securities without any additional information or related cost benefits analysis. So he is coming after cryptocurrency. All they're working to do is to get their hands in the cryptocurrency game. Let me bring myself up back on the screen here, okay? So SEC setback in the Ripple suit adds pressure to define crypto assets. So the pressure is on Warriors. The pressure's on the SEC. Now, the reason why is I'm going to show you this video once again that I showed you guys yesterday. So if you didn't watch my video from yesterday, go back. I take you from the Bretton Woods Standard all the way to today and telling you exactly what's happening. Your old paradigm investment, your old 401k type investment, your old insurance type of investment is getting shattered. We're going into digital assets. There's different ways to do your insurance. Basically, you have the access to do what the billionaires are doing. You have access to it right now, Warriors. And the whole way you invest and the whole way that people make money is going to change dramatically. Now, I showed you this video yesterday, but we're going to jump right into it in just a second. Okay, so we got the reps putting pressure on Gary Gensler in regards to his rulings or trying to expand the SEC's role. Okay, the Ripple case is putting high pressure on the SEC. I think it's all by design, in my opinion. I'm excited. We have a special guest next week, a lawyer who actually is helping us go against the SEC. I'll be interviewing next week on our channel, which is very exciting. So I'm excited to hear his perspective of it around this new Howey test that they're working to bring in. So we're going to get deep. We're going to go right to the horse's mouth, and we're going to talk to somebody very, very special next week on this channel. Okay. So Jeremy Hogan, and this is not who we're interviewing next week. It's someone that you guys know, like, and trust. I'll let the cat out of the bag on Friday. But this is pretty cool. It says, almost nothing would have surprised me more than this. And yes, this is a very good thing. The only remaining areas of delay are the appeal, the Hinman emails, in general, just scheduling. The SEC discovery is complete, and that's a big step forward. Okay, this is really, really big. So the SEC has filed a letter stating that it does not seek to take additional discovery at this time, but both parties reserve the right to take discovery limited to disgorgement issues if necessary after liability is decided. So we are getting close to the end, Warriors. Very, very close. We can taste it. And imagine what's going to happen when this thing gets settled. Price appreciation, FOMO, fear of missing out. It's going to be one of the biggest cases in digital asset history. Well, it hasn't been out that long, since 2008. Cryptocurrency specifically, cryptography has been around for a long time, but this switch in the system's been happening for a long time. Okay. Also, this is a brand new asset class. That's what this is all about. Think about that. This is a brand new asset class, and this is pretty cool. I love what Kevin O'Leary says here. So Kevin O'Leary on the U.S. crypto regulation, we need to catch up with the rest of the world, and he is right in line. He's calling it the 12th asset class, or the 12th sector of the S&P 500, and is very confident sensible government crypto regulation will happen before mass adoption. Absolutely, it'll happen before mass adoption. You know why? Because they're not going to allow the sheep to get into it and get very, very wealthy. So think about this for just a moment, Warriors. So you've heard me talk about Link 2. If you want to get into Ripple IPO, okay, Link 2, go to the link in my bio on Instagram. You can go into Link 2 and explore pre-IPOs. Let me talk to you about this for just a second. So what Kevin O'Leary is saying right now, they're not going to allow the masses in until government regulation comes, because once they regulate it, they can control it, and they can control the money flow, and they can tax it. Sorry about that, my manifestation alarm. I'll do it afterwards. So basically what they're doing, Warriors, is they're not going to get the public involved yet, right? Once they get it regulated and they can run it through the system and they can get their hands on the money, they will. So think about that for just a moment, okay? Until regulation comes in, the masses won't come. So just what I was talking about, it's not an IPO, but you're just like getting into a pre-IPO. You're in so early before the masses find out about it. So it's like a hockey stick, right? So a hockey stick, if you can see me here. When an IPO hits, this is the hockey stick. Everybody comes rushing in. Well, there's people that got in way at the beginning of the handle, right? That's the people that make the money. That's what the elites have had access to, and we haven't had access to. So cryptocurrency gives us that hockey stick where we're getting it at the beginning, right? So you're in very, very early. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this video once again. Now remember, this is a simulation. I want to be very clear. This was in 2019. Gary Gensler wasn't even the head of the SEC. This is all planned out. He was the head MIT professor, but he's acting as a top person in the government right here in this role right here. Was he part of the operation of currency control? Which one would it be? CFTC, I think he was. But I'm not sure what role he was in right here. But wasn't have the SEC at this point. This is a simulation in 2019 around Swift system and China. I'm going to have you watch this again because a lot of people didn't catch what this was about.
We have been leapfrogged by others, by digital currency, by digital Chinese currency. Why? Because frankly, our central bank has been slow, and there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era.
What about in 5 minutes if we hear that the world is trading oil?
Okay, so the gentleman that's in the simulation right here says we need to move our Federal Reserve into the modern era. So that's why they brought Gary Gensler in. They brought him in to bring in regulation. He's the hot potato guy. He's the Jay Clayton throughout the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, right? One of the biggest impact companies in the world, in my opinion, in regards to distributed ledger technology and changing the banking system. So they picked that company, right? Here's why I think they did it. My opinion is they're all invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Think about that. Jay Clayton left the SEC right after he threw out the Ripple lawsuit to go consult for a cryptocurrency company that just increased their position in Bitcoin and Ethereum 2 days before he threw the lawsuit in Bitcoin and Ethereum by 600 million. And then all of a sudden, I think it's New River, he went to consult for them. Think about that for just a moment. The reason why they didn't say go after Ripple or go after Ethereum or Bitcoin, because their bags are packed in it, Warriors. Their bags are packed. So like, let's go after Ripple. Okay. We're going to go after Ripple because Ethereum is deep in the banking system and consensus. You got Bitcoin, which is a new gold, the store of value. Okay. And then you have a disruptive technology like Ripple that you can use to be the center stage to bring in new regulation and a Howey test. Okay. Think about that. So in January 2020, SEC Gary Gensler wants crypto exchanges regulation in 2020. He warns on stablecoins. So here's what's going to happen. I love putting predictions out there in regards to this stuff. So basically what's going to happen, the XRP Ripple case is going to get settled. There's going to be some sort of regulation that comes out of this. There's going to be deep regulation on exchanges, and they're going to work to get their hands on the money somehow. And I think they're going to do it through regulating exchanges, right? We know Coinbase is locking arm in arm. They're in the banking cartel. They're locked arm in arm, and they're going to go through the process, and they're going to be the forefront of regulation, right? So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. What I believe is many cryptocurrencies are going to get wiped out. Now, I'm going to be very clear on what I say. I think 99% of cryptos will get wiped out. Remember, there's like 17,000 cryptos or something like that. So when I say 99%, it's a lot of the shit coins, no utility, no real world solve, ones that aren't going to have the money or capital to be able to manage the regulation because it's very expensive. It's very expensive to get up with regulation. It's very expensive to have the proper team and lawyers. So if you're just some crypto project, right, that doesn't have the capital or the infrastructure or the leadership team to get up with regulation, then how are you going to do that? So there's going to be a lot of people, I think, that lose a lot of money in the crypto space. I think so. That's why I focus on the fundamental cryptos. That's why I focus on real world solved cryptocurrency companies that are going to be here. Ripple is not going anywhere, Warriors. Even if they lost this case, Ripple hardly operates. They're very America's like holding back, right? America's holding back on full adoption because of this case. Bank of America is fully in, but most of it's done outside of America, which is such a small part of their infrastructure, right? So think about that. It's not America they say America is going to dictate the regulation, but what's happening is all being done behind the scenes. You know, Russia, China, they're all, the presidents, all that, they're all talking heads and they're getting information out there so they can keep the elites in power. And there's nothing to resist. What you resist will persist. Become. That's all you have to do. You don't have to fight anything. There's no nefarious people. Just become wealthy, become healthy, become abundant, all right here. And you will become a frequency being and attract that back to you. So this is the greatest time in human history, Warriors. So I believe there's going to be a settlement pretty soon. And it will be when they're ready to start to have a little bit of mass adoption, when they get some regulation in place. So expect some volatility as we move through. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you check out our crypto show at 8 o'clock. Kevin and I will be going live in 20 minutes on our lifestyle channel, which you can find down here. So if you go on to our main channel here, click down below, go to lifestyle channel, make sure you get the gear, check everything out, Warriors. Make sure you get geared up. And Kevin and I will be talking about lifestyles in about 20 minutes. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.